Welcome to another episode of Armchair Chats. I'm your host, Rita Slanina, and today we're talking to the very lovely Lesanda Moore. Lesanda is a teacher, mother, avid traveler who loves to get lost in a story, whether by another author or one of her own. When she's not penning her next book, she's caring for her kids, spending time in nature, reading, or binge watching old movies. Her goal as a writer is to create realistic fiction with relatable characters who take you on an emotional journey. If that sounds like your cup of tea, then look no further. Let's bring her on. She has tails. She has tails. Hi, Lesanda. How are you?
Hello. Fine. How are you?
I am well, thank you. I want to apologize to everyone in the audience in advance. I have not remedied this echoing situation. So we will get tech on that. We're doubling down on with the tech people tomorrow, so hopefully it will be resolved. So bear with us with that, and we are aware of it, and we'll be fixing that. So welcome to the show, Lesanda. Let's start with your latest book. How would you pitch it in one sentence?
Wow. Okay. A culinary student who's sworn off dating until she graduates meets a retired baseball player looking to start his new normal.
I love that, and I have read The Perfect Match. I think it is wonderful. I love Darrell,
Thank you.
and I love how Bianca's like, no, I have a plan. And I don't want to give too much
Yes.
away. I definitely don't want to do that.
Mhm.
I don't want to do that. Um, what was the spark that set this story in motion?
I have been thinking about it for since last year. Last year, I wanted to write a Valentine's romance, and I started writing one, and I maybe wrote about two chapters of it, and it just wasn't. Yeah, it just wasn't hitting. So I said, okay, maybe I'll try again next year in 2025. And I had did a Christmas book, and when I did my Christmas book, it was a part of a Black Christmas collaboration. And so before we even finished, some of the authors was like, well, why don't we do this for Valentine's Day? So we got together and got with a few more authors and did 14 Days of Black Romance for Valentine's Day. So The Perfect Match ended up being one of those books. So I had already had the idea of her being like a culinary student and wanting to be a caterer or a chef ultimately. And the guy's job wasn't really stuck. And then I don't know where it came from, but I just chose a retired baseball player. Like, I don't know, it just seemed like it
I
fit
like
together just
that.
like the titles.
But I like that he's a retired baseball player because I think no, it's a unique job first of all, and it's not an
Yeah.
average job. So people
Right.
wonder what happens to an athlete post
Right.
career. And
Right. Right.
some of us know some
Right.
athletes post career and
Oh yeah.
maybe have
Yeah.
experience with friends like that. So
Right.
I get it and I appreciated it, and I love that you chose that as his career. So it came up as something totally unexpected then, him becoming a ball player. I love that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your characters
And I
are
chose and I chose the particular sport of baseball also because, in the Black community, you hear it's prevalent with basketball and football. So I was like, let me find something that, I wanted something else. I didn't want to do basketball or football. So I said,
well,
let me try
it's so
baseball.
easy to go there, right? Because I mean, it's
Right.
true. Mostly
Yeah.
football, basketball, yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Baseball is kind of underappreciated. I mean, I don't really watch it much, but yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Your characters feel so real. Do you base them on people you know, or do they take on a life of their own as you write?
I think a little bit of both. Like sometimes I may base it on not necessarily a person I met. A lot of times my characters are well, I won't say a lot of times, 100% of the times all of my characters are extensions of myself, and I tell people that all the time. So even if it's a kid, if it's a man, if it's a woman, in some way shape or form, it's an extension of myself. But as I write the stories, they literally take on a life of their own. Like in the book, the young lady, I was thinking, I was like, well, she's a female, she doesn't have any friends. Like, that's weird. Like, why, how are you going to explain why she doesn't have any friends? And I was like, okay, she was a foster kid. So, she got used to moving around so much that she didn't really, she didn't really have a lot of people that stuck around for a long time. So that just carried on into her adulthood. But yeah, stuff like that.
I love that. I love that because they really do, and they really are an extension of the author.
Mhm,
Most characters, because I
mhm.
feel like as writers, we can definitely we're people watchers, right?
Right,
And we like to get
right.
into other people's stories and, oh, where are you from? How did you
Mhm,
get there? Like all these
mhm,
things, and I can see definitely they can grow a life of
mhm.
their own just from our own
Yep.
voyeuristic ways.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
So
So
writing can
true.
be a yeah, writing can be a wild process. Do you have any quirky habits, routines, or must-have rituals when working on a book?
Oh yeah, definitely. I learned this from Sarah Cannon. I give her the props for this all day in Heart Breathings, because I found her when I was ready to start writing for adults, and it was like perfect timing. Like literally, I found her 2 weeks before Nano. I binge watched her channel, signed up for her, her email, printed out the papers, filled out as much as I could, with the knowledge that I had, and I went from there. And I wrote my first book with the Hardys, and I've been with them ever since. So, yeah, but I say. Definitely you need to do writing sprints, and the reason is not only because you're sitting down and you're writing and you're just concentrating on that, but also you need to be able to gauge your productivity. And I know a lot of people say, I don't want to go by word count and I don't want to, but you need to be able to know what you can do. And you can't say, oh, I can write a book in a certain amount of time, or I can draft a book in a certain amount of time, if you don't even know how long it takes you to write 1,000 words. So I
Measuring
would
it is
say
key. Yeah.
doing the word tracking, and also I listen to sounds. I listen to nature sounds, like whether it's white noise, brown noise, hurricanes, like I don't know why, snowstorms, like natural disasters and stuff like that. I always have that playing in my headphones when I'm writing. So when I get on sprints with you guys, that's what I have playing while I'm working. So
See, now I know your secret.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I
that's
think
it.
it's pivotal. Same shout out to our Hardys out there for sure,
Mm-hmm,
because I would not have finished book two in my own writer world if I
mm-hmm,
didn't get on
mm-hmm,
that. And
mm-hmm.
I don't even know how I was sleeping on that for so long, to be honest with you. I don't even know. But but sprints changed the way.
Yeah.
And Lazanda is so right, you guys. If you can't measure how far you're going or where you started
Mm-hmm.
from, how do you anticipate getting to the end of that? So
Absolutely.
if you do nothing else and you don't really want to be a hardy, which we want you to be a hardy. We want everybody to be a hardy.
Absolutely.
But get in some sprints and you make friends too. I mean, we got so many
You
friends,
do. You
and
do.
we can all, I don't want to say commiserate on our writing issues, but we
Right,
do. And
right.
it's such a good time.
It's true because it's like-minded people getting together, so we know the struggles. We know how lonely it can feel. We know how isolating it can feel at times, but we also know how it feels to not feel like working when you don't want to write. Not, things like that. And so just showing up for those sprints and being around other people and they are working, it can spark you to do something, or it can still just, may refresh your energy and say, okay, I'm just around people working, so it might motivate you to get something done.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. Like osmosis.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. It definitely is. Yep.
So, what was the most rewarding or most challenging part of writing the perfect match?
Wow. Okay. I will say this, and I told my readers this also. The Perfect Match was the fastest book I ever wrote. Because it's a novella. It's about close to 20,000 words, so it's about 79 pages. It was the fastest book I ever wrote, from drafting to finished product. I did it in 30 days, well, maybe less than 30 days. And I was like, oh my God, can you do this? Like I've been writing and publishing books for 4 years, but I'm still sitting here like, this is book 16. Can you do this? But I challenged myself and I did it, and I wrote it in 30 days. But I will say, I'm I'm always healthy. I never get sick. When my kids get sick, I'm always healthy. I got sick while I was writing this book, and I was determined to finish it. I was like, I'm not gonna let the ladies that I'm working with on this project down. I said I was gonna deliver this book, and I'm gonna deliver it, and so I did. So I would say, just the resilience, just the overall resilience, because writing has challenged me in ways that I had never been challenged before, and I've been through some obstacles and stuff, So, but it's a good challenge. It's a good challenge. So
That's a great backstory on the perfect match, actually.
yeah, I was sick. Yeah, I
And
got
it
sick.
shows you
I know
what
that maybe it was my
you can
nervous
do
system.
when you just don't let anything get in your way.
Hmm.
I love that.
Hmm.
So, did anything about the story surprise you along the way?
Um, I think the part where I was coming up with like her backstory surprised me because going into the story, I only knew that she had a boyfriend that she was dating for a long time, and then he got incarcerated. So she kind of from there was like, all right, I'm taking a dating from hiatus. I'm gonna focus on me and go to school and go to school. So that's what she was doing until she ran into Darrell. And so like I think the surprising part was like how I came up with it off the. I was like, how did she end up being a foster? How did she the whole part where I came up with her being a foster child and then eventually getting adopted and her love from cooking stemming from the lady who her adopted mother teaching her how to cook. That was their thing. So she kind of held on to that relationship from her long after she passed away. And yeah, so that whole because I mean that literally just came out of nowhere while I was writing. So
I
yeah.
love that. I love that. And, as females, we can relate
Yeah,
to
yeah, right.
obstacles or boys' troubles.
Yeah.
Publishing can be a roller coaster. What is the biggest wow
Mhm.
or what just happened moment in your journey so far?
I think maybe last year, I was when I wrote my Zaddy Inc. book, second time around, was part of a escort service with older men, and I think I surprised myself so much because going into the project, um, the authors that I collaborated with, some of them had been writing for many years, and these are people I had admired and working with, and I still do. But it taught me a lot about myself working on that project because I thought that I was further behind. I thought that I was being lazy and different things like that. And working with a whole group of people, it really showed me how disciplined and consistent that I am. I thought that I was kind of lazy, a little lacking here and there, but working with a group of people, I was like, okay, yeah, no, you're a lot more disciplined than you thought you were. Um, and
You are
and
one of the
also, I think I.
hardest working writers I know.
Mhm,
you
mhm.
your turnaround is just awe inspiring.
Yeah, and I don't know. I felt like I learned so much about myself during that collaboration, and also I did that project maybe in like I want to say 5 months. I think I did that in 4 or 5 months, and I was done way before it was time for mine to come out. I had set up my pre-order. I had my graphics done. I literally had everything done, and it seemed like the most. Once I got over the hurdle of the first draft, because at one point I got to a point where I was like, where's the story going? But once I got over that hump and I finished the first draft, the rest was just like clockwork. And when I say everything was seamless, it kind of felt like you finally got it. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like I finally got it. After all of these books, I finally got it.
Oh
So
yeah, like you tapped into the rhythm.
mhm.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
like it.
Yeah.
Every writer has those stuck moments. How do you get
Yeah.
past writer's block or creative slumps?
Wow. Hmm. Okay, so one thing I know, I listen to music like my favorite artists like Chris Brown and Janet Jackson, and I'll go into a mood and I'll listen to people that inspired me by their creativity. And then that way it kind of sparked my creativity, or I'll go watch movies that I love that I enjoy to make me feel good, rewatch old movies. Um, and then it kind of feels my creative well. And then I say, okay, well, if they can do it, then let me go back in here and start working on this story because I had this idea, like. And then I get into that mindset of if Chris Brown would have stopped, then look at all the stuff that he produced, look at all the stuff that that he's put out that has resonated with millions and maybe billions of people. What if he would have stopped
I still
5 years
have
ago,
that
10 years ago?
song. Please don't love me. What is that song? Please don't hurt
Mhm.
me. What is
Please
that one?
don't judge me.
Please don't
Uh-huh.
judge
Please don't
me.
judge me. Yeah.
Please
Yeah.
don't judge.
Yeah.
I just love that song. I don't know. And I
Yeah.
saw that on your Threads post with Janet Jackson.
Mhm.
Is that the same album
Yes.
cover with That's the way love goes. Bum, bum, bum,
Yeah,
bum,
yeah.
bum,
And
bum.
anytime, any place, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, anytime, any place. Where are you now? That whole album was just like, yeah, it was awesome. Yeah,
Still
that
to
it
this
was
day is
awesome.
one of the best albums like
Yeah,
ever.
yeah,
You
still one of the best
you
albums
talk
ever.
about
And when I
music.
heard, I want to say, because like this book that I'm writing now, that title is "Where Are You Now?" So that's the title of the book that I'm writing. That's the title of that song when I had shared it, and it's like I've had the idea for maybe 2.5 years, but like I said, I had so many other projects and collaborations coming up and stuff. So I kind of was putting it off, but I was still thinking about it. And every time I would hear the song, it would like trigger something else in my brain. So, like, yeah, that's the project I'm working on now. So I'm so excited because that have been a few years in the making
Yeah.
by the time it
Yeah.
comes out.
I love
So,
that. Music is so powerful. People, I mean,
yeah,
it can change your mood. It can change how you do things. I mean, it's just
yeah.
crazy how powerful it is. So let's dream big. If the
Okay.
perfect match was turned into, I could totally see this in a movie for real, though, like on Hallmark or something. I could totally see this. Whatever. Was turned into a movie or TV show. Who would you cast in the lead?
Wow. Okay. For Dianca, I probably would cast maybe, I don't know if you know Soraya. She was in Soraya, the actress. Yeah, I would cast her for Dianca, and for Darrell maybe hmm, maybe Kofi. I probably Kofi from Girls Trip. I probably would choose Kofi for to play Darrell.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I like that. All right. So, books have the power to change us. What's one book besides your own that
Mhm.
has deeply impacted you?
Hmm. Besides the Bible, um, let's see.
Or it can be the Bible. I mean, I
Yeah, well,
we
yeah,
don't
yeah.
mind
I
talking about
say
that. Yeah.
right. I'd say the most impactful book is the Bible. And then as far as like fiction, in terms of fiction, um, I don't know. I just love reading. So I can't say I don't even know if I could pick out just one book besides the Bible. That's the most impactful because I
It
wouldn't be
is.
doing what I'm
And
doing without it.
what people, if they're not reading the Bible regularly or haven't read it in a while or maybe
Right.
never have read it, you will find more crazy things that have happened, real, unreal, magical, fantastical,
Amazing.
horrific,
Amazing
amazing,
things.
like just all across the board. You think you've
Yeah.
seen and heard everything? It's in the
No,
Bible.
you have it.
It
Right,
started
right.
somewhere else.
And and that's why I say to a lot of people, I don't go around telling people, oh, you should read your Bible, but in it, you look for all of these questions in life outside and in people. When those answers to those questions is in that Bible, like when you read those stories, it comes alive. Those people were going through the same things that we're going through right now. So it's
So
like,
true. So true. We
yeah,
were watching something and I went, that sounds familiar. Like,
yeah,
and if
yeah,
nothing else, even if you're not a religious person and you
right,
want to just research some stories,
right.
the Bible's a great resource. It's really a great
Yes,
resource.
it absolutely is.
So if you could have dinner with three literary characters, yours or someone else's, who would you invite and why? They could even be biblical characters as well.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So, wow. If I was having dinner, hmm, I probably would invite David and maybe, I don't know what her name is. I can't remember her name. Samuel's wife. I can't remember her name, but I would invite David and Samuel's wife. And I say Samuel's wife because when you read through a lot of the stories in the Bible and a lot of the tribulations that these men were going through, and God was on their side, but they had women in their ears.
So he had two
They had the
wives,
wrong women.
Hannah
Mhm.
and Penina.
Okay, it's the second one. The second one,
Second one. I'm
Panana.
not
Yeah,
pronouncing that. I
yeah.
am butchering that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and yeah, and so he had a good wife. He had a good woman in by his side, and that's the same thing as rings true now. It all depends if you got a woman that's whispering in your ear the wrong things. It can ruin your whole life. So his
There is
wife.
a saying about that. Make or break you. The strongest person behind a man is
Yep.
that woman. So
Yep.
whether she
Yep.
is nefarious in nature or
Yep.
godly and positive nature,
Right.
you will get that.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
Great. Those are great choices. I want to go to that dinner too now.
Yeah.
I have so
Yeah.
many questions. So, what's one piece of advice you'd give aspiring writers who hope to follow in your footsteps?
Wow. Just right. Just right.
Just right.
Because the writing is not what stops people, and a lot of times they believe it's the writing that stops them, or the know-how, or the lack thereof, but it's not. It's courage. It's a fear thing. You're scared of what people gonna say about your writing. You're afraid that people gonna say it's not good, or whatever the case may be. But honestly, when you're writing for healing, and you're writing for yourself. And then once you put it out into the world, then it's for everybody else. So how they receive it is not up to you. It's just up to you to tell the stories. So just right.
Just right. Best advice. That's great. So, what's next for you? Can you give us a sneak peek at any exciting projects or stories in the works? Because I know you've got a really good WIP.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So, where are you now? Like I said before, that is the story that is inspired by Janet Jackson's album, and it's gonna be right now. I'm thinking the tropes is gonna be brother's best friend, second chance, and forced proximity. I love a good second chance romance. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
we
I'm
all
thinking
need it
second
once in a
chance.
while. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna do just forced proximity and brother's best friend, but then I said, well, if I do second chance, then it'll add a little bit of more depth into the story. So yeah, it's yeah, and then after that, I think the third book in my Mahogany Falls series, my small town romance series, Unfamiliar Territory. I'll be working on that. And then I have another collaboration project, which is a part of. It's going to be like a HBCU collaboration, and so it's going to be me and I believe seven or eight other authors, and we're going to come together and write about it's HBCU, homecoming week, and we're going to write a romance about a different couple for
That'll
yeah
be really
at the
fun.
same school.
See, so
So
you guys need to catch up because these series is great. I'm telling you, and you want to catch up. So when those come out, you're ready.
yeah,
You're ready. So a couple of bonus fun questions, and I will let you go.
okay.
If you had to describe your writing style in 3 words, what would they be?
I'd say slow and steady,
Yeah, I like that.
because I don't write fast. It takes me a while. I mean, it doesn't take me a while, but it's like I can't write fast. I can't type fast either. So, so I can't type fast
I'm
either.
so
But
slow.
I say
I
slow and
know.
steady.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
with you.
I say my style is slow and steady. But you can also say I say okay, sweet with a little bit of spice. Yeah.
All right. And writing fuel, coffee, tea, or something stronger?
Yeah, no, just coffee, tea, or water. Yeah, coffee, tea, or water.
All right. And if you
If I
could
tried
ma-
something stronger, look, if
well,
I tried something stronger, I'd probably be laid out somewhere. I
yeah,
can't.
ditto. I don't. There'd be none of that
Yeah.
strong stuff for me over here. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Dragging me around like that kid in that meme on the carousel. She's being dragged by the.
Right,
That'd be both
right,
us.
right.
That'd be both of us.
Yes.
We'll both be like,
Yeah, I can't. Mhm.
if you could magically live inside any fictional world for a day, which would it be?
Oh my goodness. It would have to be between Lord of the Rings and I want to say Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, but I got a runner up, and that's Wheel of Time.
I got to catch up on Wheel of Time. I've been wanting to
It's a
watch
new
it since it
season.
came out. I know, and
A
it's
new
like
season
popping
coming.
up, like watch me,
Mhm.
and I'm like,
It's getting ready to come up. A
okay,
new one.
yeah,
Yeah,
because I'm like
a new
getting
one
through all
starts.
of it.
I think on Thursday. Thursday next week. A whole new season starts.
Okay,
Yes. That's what I
okay,
said. I was so excited.
I'm gonna binge watch with you. You'll be seeing messages from me. Like,
Mhm.
why did she do that? Well, thank you, Lizanda, so much for being
Thank
here.
you.
Would you like to leave our audience with any details on how they can find out more about you and where to buy your books?
Okay, guys, all across social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, even Amazon, is Lesanda Moore. My website, Lesanda Moore, my name, LesandaMoore. You can find my books. You can find on my website, like I have all my books up there, but I don't sell books direct. Usually I give away my physical copies of my books, but I'm going to start blogging more up there. And I think maybe do like a short story, start doing maybe some short stories, share some short stories on my website. So just follow me anywhere. Follow me on any social media platforms, on my Amazon author page. That way Amazon can send you an email and let you know when I release something or if I have a pre-order set up. Yeah. And just other than that, you can find me on social media, come and connect, say hi. No, bye.
Yeah, I get those emails. I'm always trying to find you. I'm like, what's going on? Thank you, Lesanda. I'll see you soon.
You're welcome. Bye.
If you like this interview, please like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share the video. And for more information, the links will be in the description below and also in the show notes on the podcast.